Hey everybody, it's Grim here, and today we're going to be talking about who would win between the hero Nice from To Be Hero X and Homelander from The Boys. Both of these characters are viewed as the perfect hero in their respective series. Nice represents the illusion of perfection, while Homelander embodies raw, unchecked power wrapped under the gaze of heroism through manipulation. But when these two paragons of false perfection collide, who is truly going to stand as the strongest? The hero built on lies or the god built on fear? And today we're going to be figuring that out, starting with Hero.
Nice.
In the world of To Be Hero X, heroes are forged by trust, made by the people for the people. Nice stands among the top 10, portrayed as the perfect hero, but behind that image lies a dark truth. He's a fraud! Since childhood, Nice was being used by the Treatment organization who manipulated fear to create his perfect persona, granting him super strength, enhanced speed, higher reflexes, flight, and the ability to create body armor made of gold to aid him in combat. In terms of strength, To Be Hero X as a series is still pretty new and pretty underrated, so there isn't many calcs for this series in particular. However, based on what we've seen, we can still estimate Nice's power level. In episode 4 of To Be Hero X, Lin Ling destroys a large portion of a building after shortly reawakening his powers against God Eye. From this, we can reasonably place him around building to large building level based on the visible damage seen to the building here. This matters for two reasons. In the To Be Hero X universe, the more trust a person gains, the stronger their abilities will become. And during the Nice arc, Lin Ling was pretending to be nice. The reason for this is because Nice, well... Lin Ling would climb the hero rankings under Nice's name, eventually becoming his own hero known as the Commoner, and would rank number 9 at the start of the hero tournament. Later in episode 24, Nice would come back to life seemingly due to fear, though this is not really confirmed, and would reclaim his position as the number 10 hero, just being ahead of E-Fraud in popularity. And all this really just gets down to is that since Lin Ling and Nice possess similar powers, and Nice is ranked just below Lin Ling, it's reasonable to assume that Nice would scale to the building to large building level feat Lin Ling did when he was the number 10 hero. This really being due mainly to how the power system works in To Be Hero X. As I said before, the more trust someone has, the stronger their ability should be. Then when it comes to speed, I'll admit I might be a bit generous here, but in episode 13 we see Loli in a less advanced suit be able to tag and fight Ghostblade, who later deflects lightning from Isol. This scales Ghostblade to around Mach 246, or massively hypersonic, and since Nice is able to fight a much more advanced version of Loli during the Ruins incident, he should easily scale higher than that previous version that was able to tag Ghostblade, which this should pretty much solidly put him in the massively hypersonic range. Now there is another feat that I saw during the Ruins incident which I'm not very confident in, but when I rewatched the series, I can see that Nice actually reacted to a flash of light from Loli, and when looking for calcs for this, it was scaled to be around 33.34% to speed of light, or relativistic reaction speeds. Now this one can kind of be taken with a grain of salt, but I found this very interesting when looking at feats for this character. Now with the stats of Nice out the way, let's look into our other hero, that being...
I'm done. I am done apologizing. I am done being persecuted for my strength. You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me. You need me to save you. I am the only one who possibly can. You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero.
In the Boys universe, Homelander stands as the ultimate symbol of power, being the face of Vought International superhero empire. Being born in a lab and raised in isolation, Homelander was engineered to be the strongest suit alive. His powers were given to him by the substance called Compound V. This is responsible for giving him heat vision, which is powerful enough to melt through steel, or vaporize a human body or two, flight, enhanced senses, including super hearing and X-ray vision, making it very hard to sneak up on him. and also giving him superhuman strength and speed. When it does come to his strength, Homelander is easily one of the strongest characters in The Boys. Most supes in this universe scale to around building to large building level, but Homelander obviously sits far above them and has shown the ability to just casually rip people apart or even overpower fellow supes like Queen Maeve or Soldier Boy. This is important as Queen Maeve was able to survive Soldier Boy's final explosion at the end of Season 3. This explosion scaled to around 69 tons of TNT or city block level plus. This should be an okay way to scale him as Homelander was able to survive a massive chemical plant explosion in The Boys Diabolical. And we can see here if Homelander did actually take the full force of the explosion, it should have been around multi-city block level. Then in terms of speed, Homelander's best feat by far is his ability to outrun explosions during this one scene here, where he was able to save Billy Butcher before a massive detonation goes off, suggesting movement speed of around Mach 18.2 or hypersonic plus levels of speed. Now with Homelander's stats complete, before we actually get into the full results of this video, I want to go over some major points just to give you guys a clear idea of how I came up to my conclusion. So you guys might be wondering, what were the two main factors that I had to think about before deciding a winner for this fight? The first thing I had to think about was the power system of 2B Hero X. As I explained before, the trust value system works as like a double-edged sword. Basically, the more trust someone has in you, the stronger your abilities will become. But if someone has a negative perception of you, your abilities will obviously worsen. We've seen a few times, as in this fight here where Godeye is fighting this boxer type hero. He is exposed for being a fraud and his perception was negatively impacted, making him lose his ability to fight. So let's say for this fight, Homelander versus Nice, the fight is taking place in an open area in the city. There is people watching or people broadcasting this fight going on, as it's like two of the biggest heroes in the world fighting against each other. I think what's going to happen is people are going to base their perception based on how they perform in this fight. And when we look at the stats of the characters, Homelander is stronger than Nice, I would argue, but Nice is faster and has pretty equal, if not better, abilities when we do involve the trust value system. So what is going to happen is, unless Homelander is somehow able to manipulate the situation, there isn't a way that I could possibly see him having a better perception than Nice, which then could lead into two scenarios: either nothing really changes, or Nice gets a boost in trust value, making him stronger, which then makes it a pretty easy win for Nice. However, let's say for example you don't want to use the trust value system for a fight like this because you might think it's unfair. We can look at the combat experience of both these characters. When it comes to their combat experience, Homelander isn't really a trained like professional fighter. We can see that Homelander usually relies on just being stronger than his opponent to win fights against someone like Nice, who actually can hold his own against people who are stronger than him. Take for example the fight against Nice versus Dragon Boy. Even though Dragon Boy was significantly stronger than him at the time due to being boosted by fear, we can see Nice still land some good juicers on Dragon Boy and evade quite a few attacks. And to just further reinforce the point, Homelander, even though like I would say this is a less experienced version of him to give him like some benefit of the doubt, was struggling to keep up with someone like Black Noir, who doesn't really have super speed for that matter. Or in his fight against Queen Maeve in Season 3, we can see that she's actually able to get quite a lot of hits on him before he's able to really do anything about it, which is why I lean more towards the perfect hero Nice being the victor of this fight. But if you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.